Welcome guys, this is the very first In the Gutter podcast. We are here at Bunburyist in Bolton. I am here with Mr. Darryl Leach. You are?
I'm the landlord and owner of Bunburyist. So I've been here for 7 years, and this is Chris, and you are?
The resident alcoholic, or one of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a series of podcasts. We're going to start very informally, just introduce ourselves. We're going to explain a little bit about how Darryl opened the bar, how Bunburyist became to be. We're going to do a bit of a sample beer review for you, a couple of the artworks on the wall, and just explain what we're hoping to do and where we're going to be going forward.
Yep, I've got 3 beers though. I've got something a little bit interesting for the last one. I think if you're really into your beers, you're
Kept that on the wraps, kept it a bit of a secret, that's why it's not on the wall. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce ourselves, talk about a little bit about who we are, just so that you obviously know that. And then going forward, like I said, we'll do the beer reviews. We'll tell you a little bit about our plans, who we're going to be working with on future podcasts, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So, as I said, this is Mr. Leach. Darryl opened the bar 7 years ago, as he said. So, Bunburyist, explain. Obviously, previously you had a different profession. You decided you wanted to open a bar. Explain how that came about.
Yeah, so I used to be a teacher, and that wasn't working out, so I needed a change of direction. And there's not many transferable skills from teaching. So I sat down, what do I like? Beer. So the conversation then started about opening a bar. We got to form a business manager who guided us through the process, and 18 months after that decision, here we were.
Excellent. So Bunburyist, because a lot of people, generally if you see, say, Bunburyist, the way it's written, some people might think, oh, it's a surname, or like you'll get Bunburyist Limited, whatever. So how did you actually pick the name? How did that come to be?
Okay, so my wife's an English teacher. Took me to watch The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. And during the play, we were introduced to Algernon, the protagonist, who has a friend called Bunbury. When he's got a family function or an event that he doesn't want to go to, makes the excuse that he's got to go and see Bunbury, and goes out and gets drunk.
You held on to your P's and Q's quite well then.
That was very tempting.
So Bunburying is a term then?
Oh, it's all in the dictionary now. These words have made it into the dictionary.
Is it officially or unofficially?
Officially, they are in the dictionary. So if you go out to visit Bunbury, you are Bunburying, and you are a Bunburyist. So
basically it means go out and get leathered.
It means go out and get leathered.
Fantastic.
Go socialise with your friend.
Oh, there you go. Me personally, I'm not from a brewery or pub background. My academics, I'm quite teacher standard, and they involve me. I run my own business. We run events and promotions. But in the crux of things, me and Darryl have known each other for 15 years.
I thought it was even more than that.
Might be longer than that. So for a long time, we both had this. It's kind of weird how it came about, because we kind of mentioned it at the same time. I said, Darryl, have you ever thought about doing a podcast? And he said yes, and here we are some 4 or 5 weeks later.
I'd been having a couple of conversations the week before about the whole thing, and then like you say, it came out and it was like, right,
that's what we're
let's
doing.
nail it down.
Yeah, so
here we are.
Yeah, 4 or 5 week turnaround from that conversation. Obviously we let Christmas and New Year get out of the way, and we're going to try some beers for you. So going forward, we have quite a few things on the horizon. Obviously, Darryl, you've spoken to some contacts, and we're gonna do a bit of a travelling podcast when we can. So we're going to go and see specific breweries. They're obviously going to advertise beers to you guys, some of which you may not know about, because obviously that's the whole idea.
No point introducing you to beers you already know. So we'll go and find breweries, some mainly local to start with. Find out what they're doing, what they've got planned. So we've already organised that we can go up to Marble Brewery. We know Ben up at Rivington Brewery, so that's on the cards. We've got an invite up to Pomona Island. So I've got 3 already, and we've made such good contacts. Quite certain we can get some really good contacts from other breweries as well.
Because obviously what we want to do, like going forward with the podcast, you see a lot of the podcasts online, mainly I think like the top 10 podcasts in the world, 9 of them are American. and more often than not, generally sample American beer. And again, the majority of them throughout Europe are just specific home brands. So, and very, very few of them, if any, have such a good name that people are spreading the awareness of great English breweries. So that's what we're trying to do. And that's, like you say, through Pomona, Rivington, Marble. That's what we're hoping to do going forward.
Well, we are looking to be, because where we are in Bolton, just down the road from Manchester, we've got some of the best breweries in the country in Manchester on our doorstep. And the water there means that the beer coming out is superb. Really is. So we're in a good place here to do this. Like I said, American breweries are producing some of the great beers of the world, but it's about time we learnt a bit about what we're doing. Yeah,
and like I say, hopefully if this goes far and wide, you might actually get some form of education for the Americans and the Europeans on the things that we can do.
I'm just hoping for an invite.
That's a good point. Don't forget me when you're famous. So we're going to try a few of the beers that Daryl obviously serves here at Bunburyist. Going to give honest reviews. These are beers that I've actually not tested yet, or tasted, should I say tested, like it was. And yeah, we'll just give you an honest review. So Daryl will obviously speak you through who the brewery is, sort of the fundamental of the beer, the taste, how it should taste, and what's within it. And I'll obviously see if I can taste that. So talk us through it, mate.
Okay, so our first one is Hopfordian from First Class Brewery in Stockport. So this is a 6% IPA. If you have a look at it, it's quite dark compared with the modern IPAs.
It looks like a mild when you look at it in the glass.
Yeah,
it'd be a dark beer.
Yeah, so you've got plenty of colour in there. So you've always got more roasted malts, and kind of expect maybe a bit of malt character in there. The brewery is run by Richard Conway. He's a great guy. We know he's good. He gets to the Indie Man Beer Festival. Now, if you know anything about that, they do all British craft beers, and it's invitation only. So they only invite the best breweries down. This guy's there every year. So this is made with the Cascade and the Mosaic hop. Now, I love Cascade hop. Mosaic sometimes a little bit, not so sure about, but we'll see. But we are expecting real fruity characters in this.
So it's a 6%.
6%, yeah.
Quite strong.
Yeah. So let's give it a go.
Oh, you can smell it straight away. You can smell the fruit.
Well, yeah. Peaches. I get peaches on that, on the nose. Oh, you've drunk it already.
Yeah. I get peaches on the taste. Yeah, it does. It's very. It doesn't taste like it should, like it looks.
No. I say, I'm not getting much of the malt at all. It's purely the hops. And like I said, there's definitely peach character in there.
Yeah, you get it.
Very little bitterness on the finish. So I do make it up.
I like that.
You like that one? Good.
I like that.
So this reminds me, when we first opened, the Scandinavian breweries suddenly became prominent. And what they were doing, they were taking American IPAs, but taking the bitterness out of the finish. So you just got this long, smooth, fruity finish.
That's what that
for
is.
the beer.
And you get it at the back end as well.
Yeah, and it stays with you. I can still taste that. It's not just in and gone. Really so, nice. Like I said, everything he does is really good. Quite traditional. If you want to get something a little bit unusual from it, then you have to wait for Indie Man. That's when he really pulls out all the stops.
I was going to say, if it's in that only, I imagine he does. But that is, like I say, you can still taste it. It sits on my palate quite some time. It's lovely, that.
Well, I was going to try a little bit more.
Just have a bit more then.
Awesome.
So what have we got next?
Okay, so our next one is from Brighton Beer. So I can see this is a hazy beer. So this is the She's an Easy Peeler. So this is an orange flavoured Berliner Weiss. Put my glass on to make the notes. So it's flavoured with Nordicot, which is a mandarin-like clementine.
Okay.
So it's flavoured with natural fruits. And like I said, it's a Berliner Weiss, so it's a sour beer. Brighton Beer started in 2012, so 10th anniversary this year.
Last year, we're in 2023 now.
All right, 2023. So 11th anniversary. So the Berliner Weiss obviously originates in Germany. It was made with a very specific type of souring bacteria. maybe one day we'll get around to the story of the bacteria. But
It sounded so ominous.
well,
We'll get to that story another time.
the bacteria basically died out. There's only one strain of it,
Right. Okay.
and it was put away in a lab. And the legend is that somebody broke into the lab and stole the bacteria back and has recreated the Berliner Weiss.
Right.
So, traditionally, this is also drunk with fruited syrups.
Okay.
So, you might put a raspberry syrup in it or a blackcurrant syrup to add to the flavour, give it a stir. And that's the traditional way. Generally low ABV, so this is, I've forgotten the strength actually, I didn't write it down. Just 3.8. So it should be light, refreshing, fruity. Again, no bitterness, maybe a little bit of sourness.
Yeah, you can smell the sour. You get the sour.
It does
in
smell
the
sour.
nose.
I suppose it's got a little bit salty as well.
Mm.
The orange in that is brilliant.
Yeah, it's going to sound really weird, but it tastes like orange squash, but with a sour fizz.
Yeah. No, that's no, it's remember, whatever you get is right for you.
Yeah,
so
but it tastes like a real summer drink.
Yeah.
Like you'd enjoy it.
And obviously drinking in midwinter.
On a beach, yeah, no.
Well, we've got this in particular because one of our regulars made us a Christmas pudding syrup.
To put it
So
in
you could have tried it with a Christmas pudding syrup.
So is that why you'd add the syrups, like the raspberry syrup? Would that make it more of a summer fruits type
Yeah,
taste?
that's exactly the point.
That's good, isn't it?
It is a good one.
And it's
I'm just trying to describe the finish on it.
because the smell doesn't smell like it tastes.
No. Well, they get a proper Berliner Weiss. The bacteria does give it a particular flavour. Should be able to spot a Berliner Weiss wherever you go.
That's delicious, that.
I really like I say, summer particularly. These beers are absolutely designed for that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That was really good.
So you promised us something special for the third one.
Yeah.
How special? I don't know what this is yet. Kept it a secret, so go ahead.
So this is from Campervan Brewery. So they're up in Edinburgh. They've been going since 2012 as well. You tend to see something like, whenever I've seen their beers, it tends to be something a little bit special. I've not come across much of their core range, as it were. So this we got in for Christmas. So this is a Belgian quad that's been flavoured with chai and aged in bourbon barrels, and it's got lactose added to it. So it's a milk.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
That is a real mouthful.
So this is the stout. This is not this is not the Belgian quad.
Oh right, okay. So we're on the stout.
So I know I've just looked it up and I've read the completely wrong label. So this is the stout, so it's a milk stout. So it's got lactose in it. So not for the vegans. We're expecting a lot of bourbon flavour, sweet, and a really thick texture. So
Oof, that smells lovely. That.
So getting plenty of the bourbon on that.
Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah.
What percentage is it?
So about 10.5. Probably 10.2.
Yeah, you can smell
Yeah.
bourbon in the nose.
So again, a little bit of chocolate and a lot of bourbon on that.
Mm. Oh, mate. That.
It's everything they expect. It's exactly what you expect. So you've got a little bit of sweetness, chocolate, loads of bourbon in there.
I get more chocolate in the taste than I do in the smell.
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice balance. I found some bourbon barrel-aged beers, they just load it with the bourbon. Just tastes like a whiskey.
I was going to say,
They've
I
got a
could
nice
be convinced
balance in
if
there.
I were blindfolded and you told me to smell that, I'd be convinced that you'd put a bourbon under my nose. If you told me
Yeah.
you were a stout or
But
anything.
on flavour, it's
yeah.
not overpowering.
No, it's
which
not. It
can be a little
tastes.
bit.
Yeah,
It's a nice balance to that.
yeah. It smells. You smell the bourbon more, but then you taste the chocolate and everything
We're
else.
finishing this
behind
before
it.
we leave.
10.2%.
Yeah. So really impressed with these
Tastes
guys.
Yeah,
Like I
tastes
said,
like
they've
Christmas.
not been around for long. Sort of only really started to make a name for themselves in the last couple of years, but they really are getting a good reputation.
Yeah, that's To be fair, you've started off, and I'm not just saying it, it started off really well though, because I drink all three of them in the bar.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we've got something a little bit more traditional with the Hopfordian, even though it's made with the American hops. Slight twist on it, with no bitterness. Then we've got a Berliner Weiss. Don't see many Berliner Weisses around, but lovely, well fruited.
Yeah.
And then the ridiculous bourbon.
It's weird because I've just been trying to think if I could pick a favourite. I don't think I can because, like I said, that doesn't taste. It tasted different to how I imagined it would, looking at it with the colour in it.
Yeah.
But it was fruity and it just lasted forever. That is like the perfect blend of sweet and sour.
Yeah.
And that's like, you drink that to get to your
Definitely
pudding.
Definitely a mood thing,
Yeah,
isn't
well, you
it?
drink that to get to your pudding, to then get to your nightcap, and that's the sweet kind of, yeah.
Oh, this one will put you to sleep.
Oh, definitely.
No, yeah.
10.2%.
3-course meal.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely depend on the mood. But
definitely.
very good. Yeah. So.
Well, I was going to say, you can take the lead if you want. So, yeah, so, like we were saying, very, very much an introduction episode. They are going to be slightly longer going forward because obviously we're going to be visiting some of the breweries that Darryl mentioned previously. This will obviously come with more beer reviews. We will be back here at Bunburyist. We're not just going to go out on the road and just travel left, right, and centre and advertise and show some of these fantastic breweries that we've got. Like did you say this one was Stockport? So that's only just down the road as well.
Stockport, yeah.
And we're just going to do it to like I said, boost the names of some of the great breweries that we have here. Like you say, further afield, a lot of these guys in America and stuff won't have heard of these. They may want to try it. They maybe try and get their hands on it, and that's what it's about. It's about sharing the great beers of the world into every corner of the world.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've done 3 British beers here, but we get beer from all over the world, so we'll just pick something off the shelf and see what we think of it. Yeah.
So thanks very much for tuning in. We'll be back next month. We're looking at doing one. I think I think it's it'll either be Rivington or Marble next. Yeah. See who comes back to us with the firm offer. So we'll be out on the road by the sounds of it next month. Worst case scenario, we'll be back here in Bunburyist. Well, thanks very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. See you again.